Hello everybody, time for a new shave. Before we start the shave, we have a Chevrich Motor Rum. Actually a real nice rum in my opinion. Something like that. I think that's enough. Put the bottle there. Cheers. Really nice. Havana, really nice soap in my opinion. One of the best scent in my opinion too. Really nice soap. Works absolutely marvelous. The scent is, I really can't explain it, but the scent is very special, but really nice. I think it's one of the best scents of my soaps I get. Emily Shaving Supplies from Strömberg with a Omega boar brush. I'm gonna finish with BRUT, and razor today is the Weck razor. And I have things here to show you. Kismet blade in it. It's the second use. This is empty. I just wanted to show you the second use of that Kismet blade. And the reason why I choose to use this Kismet blade and the Weck razor is because of Mr. G shaves. He had used his Weck razor and I was inspired to use that. So that's the reason. And yeah, I'm not really sober today. This is not a drunken shave, at all, but a little bit of tipsy. I have been having a sauna, drinking some really nice wine to the dinner. After that I took a grog, really nice grog, took a hot sauna. I love these hot saunas in the autumn and in the winter. I usually do these hot saunas every Friday. My Friday routine on the autumn, in the winter and the spring. I take a hot sauna every Friday after work or after dinner and so on. Just awesome in my opinion. The Weck razor, this is not a shavette. This is a shavette. This is not a straight razor, but if you think about shavettes and straight razors, this shavette is as close as a straight razor as you can get. The only thing with these shavettes, doesn't matter if it's a Weck razor or it's a Kurenai or whatever feather artisan, whatever kind of razor shavette you use. These shavettes are sharp as hell. This is second use. Third use is the best for me. I think it's too sharp in the beginning, so I have to be really gentle. And that's a really challenging thing to do, as to shave with a shavette. In my opinion, straight razors are more forgiving. One fold, one mistake you do, you're gonna get the irritation. With the straight razor you got more, what do you say, you can feel if you do something wrong. If you do wrong with a shavette, you feel it immediately, you get a cut or something like that. I can say if you use a straight razor and you want to be more efficient with the straight razor, I'm talking about technique and so on, talking about pressure, the angle and so on. I promise you, if you can master a shavette, doesn't matter what kind of shavette you use, then your straight razor shave is going to be much better, because shavettes are more tricky to use, in my opinion. Have to be more focused and use a lighter touch. So if you think you're good at straight razor shaving and you think that's no problem to use a straight razor and never get nicked or so on, if you try a shavette, I can promise you it's much more difficult to use a shavette. It's the same basic strokes. I'm talking about these basic strokes because in my opinion the basic strokes are something you have to learn. All these other extra strokes you're going to learn with J hooks and guillotine strokes and so on. In my opinion, that those are bonus strokes you can learn, and you get you even more efficient with straight razor shaving. And it doesn't matter if it's straight razor shave or it's a shavette shave, but if you master these basic strokes that I'm always trying to promote, what I'm trying to say is that the basic stroke is from north to south shaves, south to north, no other things, and you learn those strokes, then you can learn other strokes from those. Sounds strange, but it's actually true in my opinion. True in my opinion, sorry. As I told you, a little bit tipsy. This is as I call a guillotine stroke. You tilt that blade a little bit and you do that stroke. It's a guillotine stroke. If you think about the guillotine, it's not straight, it's always tilted on one way. That means you got another angle to cut. But at the same time, you get, it's more difficult, it's much easier to cut yourself. So in my opinion, if you're a beginner in straight razor shave or shavette shaves, it doesn't matter what you use, as long as you use an open blade. Learn those basic strokes, north to south and south to north, straight up, nothing else. Think about the angle, low angle, and no pressure on the skin. And if you master those, what I call a basic stroke, probably it's wrong to say basic stroke, but I always try to say keep it simple, keep that as a basic stroke. It's not a basic stroke, it's a stroke whatever you do. But if you learn those strokes and you don't get irritated, then you got 90% of your shave very efficient. You maybe don't get BBS. If you want to get BBS every time, you have to go against the grain, across the grain, with the grain, and so on. Rather say with the grain, across the grain, against the grain. And that's something you have to learn, how your skin works. But to get a really nice shave, it's enough to do these basic strokes from north to south and south to north. And if you master these strokes and you are efficient with those strokes, and you don't get irritated, you don't buff, I use a decent soap. All modern soaps are decent in my opinion. You should just add water to it enough so to get hydrated enough. Don't have to be a fluffy soap. It doesn't, lather. It doesn't have to be a runny lather. As long as it's enough hydrated so you get that slickness, then it would work. And 2 pairs with this shavette, Kismet blade is enough to get really close shave. And if you get BBS, you'd have to do something else. 2 passes is enough. As you see me doing this stroke, it's not straight up, it's a little bit like that, because I have my trouble spot here. Then I go straight up. And it works for me. It doesn't mean it works for you. So nothing is right, nothing is wrong. I have to be gentle with these. As long as you master these basic strokes, you don't have to do 2 passes or 3 passes or 5 passes. Do 2 passes, and that's enough. And then use your DE razor or whatever you want, a cartridge razor or whatever you want. Just as long as you use your straight razor or shavette to learn those basic strokes. And I'm going to talk more about shavette shaves in the future. It's my plan at least. There are some things that really great with straight razors. There are some things that can be annoying to use a straight razor. There are some things that's good with shavettes. There are some things that's annoying to use a shavette. In my opinion, at least. What equipment is the best? In my opinion, straight razor. But as I told you before, as long as you can master this equipment, that's the most important thing. And if you chase that BBS every time, you have to buff. You have to work, do 3, 4 passes. But in my opinion, you have to get BBS every time. No, I don't chase BBS. I get BBS sometimes I don't. But these shavettes, doesn't matter if it's a Weck shavette or other shavettes you use. gonna get really close shave. If you master these basic strokes I'm talking about, the strokes from north to south, straight up, no guillotine strokes, no these kind of motions, just straight up and down and straight down and up. Then you get really nice shave. I'm gonna use this all in because these shaves are really awesome with that Weck shave. I'm gonna do a quick rinse and I'll be back. Leave the water on. I use this orange stick to rub on the face and feel a little bit stinging there. I always get some small stings, but not much, because these shavettes, in my opinion, are really sharp and really difficult to use if you don't master these basic strokes. And everything is about using no pressure and right angle. Cheers. I'm just gonna rinse. It feels great. I had a small tingling here, not burn, just a tingling. Gonna be back, just a moment. What I can feel, it's a great shave. No nicks. And if I don't get nicks with the shavette, doesn't matter if it's a Weck razor with a Kismet blade or Persona blade or some other shavettes, I'm always satisfied because these are wicked sharp things. I can get a really sharp straight razor, that's not the issue, but these machined blades, and that restrictor is too much, almost round. The whole sink with that. These blades with shavettes, if it's a D blade or it's a Kismet blade, they are machine blades and they are always sharpened, in my opinion, sharper than a straight razor, because these are thinner blades and they got machined edges and they are really sharp. Takes one or two shaves and then they get more milder and more, in my opinion, more smoother to use. But after 4 shaves with an ordinary D blade, if you have a half D blade, then they gonna get dull. This, in my opinion, I can use up to 15 times if I strop them, and I always strop with Weck razor. It doesn't matter if it's a Kismet blade or Persona blades. I always strop these, and I can get up to 15 shaves with them without no issues, no problems. And then they start to get a little bit too dull. But with a D razor, you get 4, maybe 5 shaves, and then it's time to change the blade. And in the future, I'm thinking about talk about more of shavette shaves. What do I think about shavette shaves? I think they are too short for me in the beginning because my technique is not 100% with shavettes. This shave felt really nice. I did a shave today because tomorrow I'm going to go to Malmö. It's a town 1 hour from here. Going to take the train with my wife and a couple of friends and go watch the trottle, I think, horses riding with a carriage, and you have people behind the horses. I can't explain, but I think it's called trottle. And after that, on the trottle, whatever you call it, the race track and so on. We're gonna go to a nice dinner and go to a hotel and have the all evening drinking and having fun. I hope so at least. So thank you for watching, everybody. Sorry for this long video. I'm a little bit tipsy, so it takes a little bit longer time. So have an awesome weekend, and we shall see you next time, whatever it is. Bye for so long. Bye bye.